let's so that we can utilize this time to touch on several areas that a lot of Nigerians have been talking about. Now,
Okay.
the APC, your political party, has gone ahead already. There's no going back from what some of your chieftains have said. How will this Muslim ticket demystify that sentiment among Nigerians where it looks like when it comes to issue of religion, we may never come together and all of that? How will this opportunity demystify all of that sentiment that is in the air regarding all the discussions in politics and and so on?
Well, I've told you something. The vice presidential position is not the only position that people are aspiring for in the party. You can see that, yes, the presidential candidate emerged. He has appointed, which was also endorsed by the party, the vice presidential candidate. Now, when it came to Director General, they said, no, I should not. There are so many positions first. And we have not even reached the level of sharing of offices or zoning of offices at the National Assembly or when we finish appointments after election. It is politics, and consultations are still going. Apart from that, are we saying that we have no developments in our states? We have not done anything in our states as APC. We have not done anything in this country. Politics involves a lot of issues. We are also assembling all those issues that are necessary for campaigns. So for us, at the end of when we start our campaign, we're going to be talking about campaign of issues, campaign on issues, campaigns of blackmail or campaigns of calumny. Under my stewardship as a Director General, I will not want to encourage those ones, but I will want to concentrate on campaign of issues, campaign about issues. I'll be talking about campaign about justice, equity, and fairness, just like I talk about. We'll be talking about peace. In some places, we are going to bring out issues that we have done in this government, issues that President has done. We are also going to be talking about places where he has intervened. A lot of intervention that is done to ensure that there is peace and progress in Nigeria. It's not only religious issues. Yes, religious issues will also come in some of those places. And don't forget, it is a team, it's going to be a teamwork. As Director General, this is not the first assignment I've had. I was given a responsibility to go and deliver a candidate, Rotimi Akeredolu, in Ondo, under a very, very strong sitting governor. I got there, it was impossible. People believe it was impossible in a southwest state. And I led that team, that campaign, and delivered Rotimi Akeredolu out of the clothes of a sitting governor. Myself personally, I contested election with a sitting governor, that time powerful sitting governor under PDP. I defeated him. I became a governor. When religion sentiments were coming up, when it was very heavy on Plateau, and the APC was a Muslim party, I won that election overwhelmingly. I came back again under such circumstances and I won the election. So it's not something that is new to me. And like I said, my Christian brothers are aware of some of these interventions. So politics is about legitimate way of addressing your interests, of setting up your interests, so that at the end of the day, your interest is also taken care in all scheme of things. So it's not only religion. Don't put it that we're only going to be talking about religion. No, it has gone, like you said. We have a chairmanship, we have a presidential candidate that is a Christian, married to that is a Muslim, married to a Christian, We have a vice presidential candidate that is also, I would say, partly for me, a minority like me, a minority. but he's a Muslim. He's a Muslim from Borno, from Borno. Today, I'm still the chairman of the Northern Governors Forum. My being chairman of the Northern Governors Forum is not ordinary. It's to also look at some of the problems here and there of the minorities, some of the Christians, and see ways of addressing those issues. Fine. We have grievances, we have problems after the election, but we've also developed, and we're already doing that, to develop ways. We have been meeting with our religious leaders, we are meeting with them and explaining the truth, so that we don't mix up personal problems with the general problems about Christianity.
All right. There was this meeting held recently by Babachir Lawal and Dogara, and they called themselves APC Northern Christians. What is your response to that meeting? Because Festus Keyamo came out and said there was no such organization within the party.
Well, first of all, we don't recognize that within the party. And two, the fact that they are not, I told you that for a very long time, for about 6 years, 2015 to that, we have been the one. Usually we started with Babashir about, we call it Christian in government, minority Christians in government. But when he left as a SGF, was Mustafa took over. We used to have several meetings, either in Jos or Abuja. It's usually in Jos or in Abuja, to look at the plight of minority Christians in the North. That is the only one that I know as an association. Now, this one that is formed after, because as a result of the election, of the primaries of APC, that one I don't know, and I was not invited. You can imagine a meeting like that, to say that governor, the only governor, sitting governor, is not invited. The secretary of the government is not invited. Ministers in the north, Audrogwe is not invited. He's the chairman of the Arewa Consultative Forum. Senator Akume was not invited. So many people were not invited. That is not a meeting that will meet up with conclusion about Christian minorities. So we are all not invited. The only thing I came to know was when Babachir came on television to say that there was a meeting, and that meeting made recommendation to Asiwaju, to our candidate, His Excellency Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, for presidential for direction to pick presidential candidate. I asked the question: if you are picking a presidential candidate from the north, why did you exclude North Central Zone? Who gave you that kind of right? Where is the headquarters of the Christian minority agitation? It's in the North Central. It's in the North Central. So if we argue and say it means that it was a selective thing, that somebody wanted his interest and then suddenly realized that he couldn't make his interest. It was not realized, and then turned out to form that kind of association. I've never been invited to a meeting like that. And all of us were not members. I can name all the key people in government in the North Central. And I can also name most people in the North who are not members, who are not also aware of that decision.
All right. Let's also, look at what the future holds for the APC. Some have even gone as far as saying that there are cracks in about 20 states in the APC, and are wondering how the party, the governing party, would resolve discontent here and there. We've even seen some people leaving the party, some top personalities leaving the party following the emergence of the Tinubu Shettima ticket. So how does that fit into your scheme of events or duties right now?
Very well. It fits into my scheme of duties. But don't forget, Abdullah Adamu was the chairman of the Reconciliation Committee before the election, before the primaries. Abdullah Adamu went round, Senator Abdullah Adamu went round in 36 states. He did that very well. And I think part of what made him to be recommended to be appointed the national chairman was part of that aspect. That he was familiar with already some of these conflicts in all the states, and so it would make it easier for him to come and sit down and resolve some of those issues. So I see the advantage in Senator Abdullah Adamu being the national chairman. At one of the meetings too, you understand the former national chairman, national interim chairman, Baba Bisa Kande, was also the chairman of one of the reconciliation committees, and his deputy was Kashim, Senator Kashim, the president candidate, President Kashim, the vice presidential candidate now, who was also midwife the reconciliation at that time. So for us, we're still going to continue. It's like a continuation of where Senator Abdullah Adamu left. We have conflicts, yes, just like other parties. It is when you come to a political party with conflict of interest, definitely you expect that it is not going to be business as usual. People are going to start introducing conflict. People are going to believe that whatever decision that is taken, it may not favor them. But there are also mechanisms for settling those conflicts. And those mechanisms are already available in the party. And that is what we are also doing by the time we unveil our campaign council. You will see what we will do. You will see who will head the reconciliation committee. And also, in respect of that, our presidential candidate is a political tactician. I call him a political tactician always. He knows it. I said he's a political tactician. He knows when to resolve conflict, and at any time, he's always talking about efforts to resolve conflict than moving into litigation, So I want to tell you, you were aware of that. There is already a prepared department. So we're just waiting to unveil it. And by the time we unveil it, you will see who is there. You will see what efforts are done. And we know that at the end of the day, we will move into this election as one political party.
All right, Mr. Governor, I know that you have been on the drawing board trying to map out and draw all of the metrics around how you want to approach the campaigns and so on. But in your assessment, understanding Nigeria very well and the political character of everyone, I wonder which part of the country, based on geopolitical zones or states, that you would like to pay critical attention to based on the dynamics right now.
Well, like I said, in those states, every state, we have governors. We have both Muslims and we have Christians. We're not going to say that we're going to pay attention to only a few states. All the states are very, very important to us. You know, politics is not something you imagine. That because you see people coming overwhelmingly to shout your name at the end of the day, that is going to dictate the result of the election. No, we're not taking anything for granted. Everything that we have, we're going to deploy all our resources, also deploy all our energy, and deploy all our techniques in winning this election. So we're not saying that some regions are important while some are not important. Of course, we have two, I would say, two prominent candidates that are Muslims. We have one that is a Christian. Does not mean we will leave any other part. We are moving, we know what we are prepared already. We are moving into the southeast. We are already getting comfortable with the south. The north central is already for grab for APC. Don't talk less of the northeast and also the northwest.